Alright, what's up YouTube? My name is Galen and this is Galen's Gadgets. I want to thank you so much for joining my channel today. And if you have not already, please do not forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep seeing videos on tech just like this one. So today I have two watches coming over from the same company. Fossil made both of these watches. A lot of people know Fossil as a watchmaker that usually makes like pretty fancy, like casual style everyday watches, like actual analog watches, but they do make smartwatches as well. And I have two different types. So this one is a full featured smartwatch. This is the Fossil Gen 6 to the left, and to the right I have the Fossil Gen 6 hybrid. And today I'm going to just basically tell you guys the difference and compare and contrast these two watches so that you guys can make a better purchase decision. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. Let's hop into it.
I'm about to be on. Been on this mission since I first left home. Packed up my bags like I'm grown. Told myself to show myself to do no wrongs. Like I'm about to be on. Been on this mission since I first left home. Packed up my bags like I'm grown.
Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to bring up is price. So Fossil is really weird with pricing because they always have like a sale going on Amazon. I'd say like probably 2 to 3 times a month they have a watch for sale, and it's usually like a different price each time. They're really weird with their pricing. So again, to the left, this is the Fossil Gen 6. This is the full featured smartwatch. You can find this for around $210 to $300. $300 I think is like the full retail price, but it's rarely at that price. It's always somewhere lower. And then to the left, the Fossil Gen 6 hybrid. This is actually newer. I believe it started out at $250. It is still at that $250 price point a lot, but you can get it from like around $200 to $250 depending on variant and depending on if you get a stainless steel band. I got the silicone band, which was cheaper. So yeah, that's what pricing is like on these. I can't really put one over the other in terms of value because they are so similar in price. Alright, so let's just go over some basic definitions of these two watches. So the main difference is that the one to the left, this is the Fossil Gen 6. This is actually a full feature smartwatch. This runs with Wear OS, which is a software made specifically for Android watches to pair with your Android device by Google. Google is the creator of Android. This one definitely has a more robust software experience. To the right, we have the Fossil Gen hybrid. This one is actually cool just because it is mostly an analog watch, but it has like a few smartwatch features and a few like aspects like from a digital watch. So as you can see, it has like real watch hands, and just the build quality just feels a lot like a real watch compared to the Fossil Gen 6. So let's compare the build quality and design of these two watches. So first off, I will say I do feel like the Fossil Gen hybrid is built a lot better than the Fossil Gen 6. Just there's some things like just like the buttons just feel a lot looser in things than the Gen 6 hybrid does. The Gen 6 buttons feel a lot looser, and it's overall lighter watch. Feels more delicate, feels like more for the everyday user. While the Gen 6 hybrid, it also does feel like it's for the everyday user, but it's just like a lot more durable. Like it's super heavy duty, a lot heavier than just the regular Gen 6. It just feels just way more durable. I've knocked both of them up against walls and everything, and I just feel like the Gen 6 hybrid has held up a little better than the regular Gen 6. In terms of screen sizes, again, in terms of design, the Fossil Gen 6 has an AMOLED screen, while the Gen 6 hybrid has an e-ink screen, which helps save a lot of battery life. We're going to talk about battery pretty soon, but this is an e-ink screen with the actual physical watch hands. I definitely prefer the design of the Gen 6 hybrid just because that's just my preference. I really like that it looks like an actual watch. That's just the main reason why I prefer the Gen 6 hybrid over the Gen 6. Sometimes I feel like smartwatches can look a lot like toys. So yeah, that's why I prefer the Gen 6 hybrid. But I will say the Gen 6 is one of the best looking like regular smartwatches out right now. In terms of screen size, they're pretty similar. The Gen 6 Hybrid is a little bit bigger. I believe the Gen 6 Hybrid comes in 42 and 45 millimeter casing, or I'm sorry, screen size, not casing. And then the Gen 6 comes in 40 and 44. So yeah, they have they have one that they advertise for women usually, and then they have a bigger one that they advertise for men. They usually change up the colors as well. So in terms of fitness tracking, these are extremely similar. I will say if you're looking for something to just strictly track fitness between these two watches, I would pick the Gen 6 just because it has more fitness hardware and more fitness software. So the fitness trackers on these look the exact same. They read very similarly, but there's just a few extra things in the Gen 6 that make it better, such as an altimeter, gyroscope sensor, ambient light sensor, and different things like that in terms of fitness. And in terms of software, it actually has a lot more workout modes and better integration with third-party apps and things. There are a ton of different apps that you could download in the Wear OS Play Store to integrate with this smartwatch and track your fitness better. The Gen 6 Hybrid just doesn't have that integration, and it just doesn't have as many hardware advantages as the Gen 6. But for someone like me that just wants to track their basic workout, they just want to track their basic steps, they just want to track their sleep, the Gen 6 Hybrid would be for that person, in my opinion. So the Fossil Gen 6, just because this is like primarily more of a smartwatch than the Gen 6 Hybrid, it does have some extra hardware features that the Gen 6 Hybrid would not have. So it does have a speaker and a microphone to to take calls and integrate with Google Assistant and Alexa, while the Gen 6 Hybrid only has Alexa and it only has a microphone. So you can talk into it, but it doesn't talk back to you. You cannot do phone calls at all on the Gen 6 Hybrid. The Gen 6 also has NFC. So you could make wireless payments using Google Pay or services like that with your watch at different terminals that support it. But the Gen 6 does not have that. But again, the Gen 6 does have Alexa, which I think is really good on a basic smartwatch like this. Okay, so the biggest difference between these two watches is going to be the software and integrations. So the software on the Fossil Gen 6 does a lot more than the software on the Gen 6 Hybrid does. I'm just going to be showing you guys all of that. The Fossil Gen 6, this is a full-featured Wear OS smartwatch. What that means is Wear OS is a software that was made by Google specifically for watches to connect to Androids, such as my S22 Ultra right here. You can also connect the Fossil Gen 6 Hybrid to the Android phone, and both of these are compatible with iPhones, but you can't do as much as you can with an Android phone. But yeah, getting back to the Fossil Gen 6, the Fossil Gen 6 runs Wear OS, and what that means is just a ton of more software and integrations on here. So you do have the option to download a ton of third-party apps, such as these apps that I have downloaded on here. I have Spotify, and all of these apps are on the Google Play Store. I actually can't access it right now. It's not connecting correctly to my phone, and I don't want to restart everything. So you get a ton of different apps on the Play Store, music apps, different fitness apps, different watch face apps, just a ton of different apps to choose from. It's pretty much an app for everything that you would have on your phone for the most part. You could change watch faces just by holding this main watch face and swiping from left to right. And again, you could download way more via the Google Play Store. Another major difference is notifications. So I don't have any notifications right now, but generally you're able to actually respond to your different type of message notifications on your watch. So you could just like swipe up, tap the notification that you want, and you'll have the option to click a keyboard and type out your message from your watch, or you could even press a microphone and talk into your watch and it will type out the message for you using voice dictation. So a ton more features on the Fossil Gen 6 than on the Gen 6 Hybrid right here. But again, I don't use most of the features on like Wear OS watches, so that's another reason why I prefer the Gen 6 Hybrid. We'll get to that in a second. But just a lot more software features on the regular Gen 6. You also get Google Assistant, which is pretty cool. You could press that. But I can't do it right now because it won't connect. But I could talk into Google Assistant, ask her pretty much anything in the world. Google Assistant is by far the best voice assistant out there. That's the Gen 6. Way more features on that. So I actually think it's like really cool. I think it's a lot cooler how they're able to pack like minimal software in an analog style watch of the Gen 6 Hybrid. The watch hands are used as part of the user interface of the watch. So if I go to a menu and I navigate through that menu, you see that watch hand move. I think that's so cool. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to like minimal stuff like that. You could also get your notifications on here, but you can't respond to the notifications. You basically just get a buzz on your wrist. And the haptics are actually, I feel like the haptics, the vibration is actually a lot better on the Gen 6 Hybrid personally. And you also get this watch face. You can adjust this in the Fossil app. I'll show you the Fossil app in a minute. I can't show you the Wear OS app because it won't connect to my watch currently. But the Fossil app has different watch faces that you could choose from, and you can reprogram these two buttons to do whatever you like. I have the top button programmed to trigger Alexa. So you can see there's Alexa. And I have the bottom button triggered to do notifications such as I just showed you. I really like how minimal the software on the Gen 6 Hybrid is. You have a lot of different apps to choose from, such as notifications, Alexa, music assistant, so you could control your music from your watch. You have the option to like ring your phone. There's a weather app. Let's open the weather app. And it just gives you the basic weather. So I'm really a fan of how minimal the software is on the Gen 6 Hybrid, and it really plays a part in battery. So that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so battery life on these watches is literally night and day. The Gen 6, this will last me a day and a half tops. The Gen 6 Hybrid though, this lasts me 2 weeks. There's some factors that I'm just going to talk about, mainly because all of the software running on the Gen 6 is the reason that the battery is the way it is. That's always been a problem with Wear OS watches. That's always been a problem with Apple watches. That's why most of those like premium future fit watches will only last you a day to a day and a half. We're literally just now getting to the point where smartwatches are getting 2 to 3 days battery life. I'm getting 14 on the Gen 6 Hybrid. There are a few major factors such as the e-ink display. That is a e-ink display that you see right here. That is what's used in like the Amazon little Kindle readers or whatever. It's just a really low powered screen. Those little Kindles last forever. This watch lasts forever as well as just not a lot of software running in the background. That's the main reason the batteries on this is the way it is. And then this is like actually an AMOLED screen, which is just more power consuming than e-ink. And again, just like all of the features on here, Bluetooth has to be running to connect to your watch. Wi-Fi has to be running, all of that. Well, Wi-Fi doesn't have to be running on the Gen 6, but it is an option. It will just kill your battery even faster. But that's why battery is the way it is, and I definitely prefer the battery on the Gen 6 Hybrid because I don't like wearing changing my watch every day. I like to sleep in my watch to get my sleep tracking right. So that's the main reason why I prefer the Gen 6 Hybrid over the Gen 6 in terms of battery life. All right, so here is the Fossil app that links to the Fossil Gen 6 Hybrid. It's really basic. You could do things such as change your watch face here. You could change the way your buttons are mapped. And you could view just like all of your general fitness data. See how many steps you took, as well as like look at your last workout or whatever. So a ton of different fitness data in the Fossil app. I can't open the Wear OS app right now, but it is way more feature filled. You could do a lot more, playing with notifications, messing with watch faces, like full watch faces, and things like that on the Wear OS app. But again, I can't open that, so I apologize in advance. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap up this video. So again, this is strictly up to preference. If you want the more feature filled watch or the better fitness watch, I would go with the Gen 6. If you want anything else, I would go with the Gen 6 Hybrid. Better battery life, handles all of your basic fitness tracking. So just like your general workouts, such as hiking, walking, running, swimming, things like that, this will handle all of that just as well as the Gen 6. But the difference is the Gen 6 has more detailed via the Wear OS and the Google Fit app, and it just has more opportunity for integrations between your favorite fitness apps. If you want better battery life, you would go with the Gen 6 Hybrid. If you want the more premium feeling watch, you would go with the Gen 6 Hybrid. If you just want something different, you go with the Gen 6 Hybrid. Like, I've gotten a few compliments on this. Just being out, they see my watch and then they look closer, they see the little e-ink display. They're like, what is that? Yeah, I just think the Gen 6 Hybrid is the overall better watch. It may not be the better smartwatch, but it's the better watch for sure, just because of how minimal it is and how well it handles simple things. So a prime example of that is I wasn't able to connect my Wear OS watch because it runs Wear OS. I haven't worn this watch in a few weeks and it just wants me to reset everything, and I'll have to like pull out my phone, re-download the app, factory reset the watch. I haven't had to do that at all with the Gen 6 Hybrid because it's literally just the Fossil app. It doesn't run like a whole nother software like Wear OS does. So yeah, if you have any questions about these two watches, feel free to leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching.